Hey everybody, Namo here, and today is the last of the Skyreign series. So this is the final combined mode. Smokescreen, Trailbreaker, Hound, Wheeljack, and Skylynx all come together as Skyreign. Now, as I've been saying, he was the last wave in Combiner Wars. He's not the most popular of the combiners. He was one that just got kind of, if him and Optimus Maximus feel like everybody just got thrown together, like they wanted to include those toys, they wanted to include the gimmicks, and just threw them in together. They're not originally combiners. Every single one of them was their own single robot in G1. Same with Optimus Maximus. All 6 of them, because remember, Hot Rod is the chest piece for Optimus Maximus. All 6 of them were just single robots from G1. None of them ever combined. And I get the complaint. I get that it feels like they're thrown together. But we got G1 toys with an IDW aesthetic, which I think works. They still look G1, but they look modernized and new. Some of the bodies, like Trailbreaker, just doesn't fit. The upper body of Wheeljack just doesn't fit, but all together, they all worked. They're all great, still great toys. I like their paint applications. I like their head sculpts. I like their articulation. I like that they're able to do all these various modes and have so much playability. This was one of the highest playability lines that they've had in a while. I mean, every figure that was released, except for leader classes, every Legends figure, every Deluxe, every Voyager, they all could be Scrambled City. So Scramble City was a episode that they put out before the movie. It wasn't televised, but it was all about combiners and how they could all fit together. So all the G1 combiners, you can take an arm off, put it on the leg of someone else. They were all just able to rotate, mix and match. And that's what they did with Combiner Wars. So it's called Scramble City as far as the playability. So that's how they all work. That's what they did with Combiner Wars. That's why I think it's still one of the highest playability lines that they've put out. Now let's get into Skyreign himself. Let's start with my issues with it. So if I bring up Hound, if you look, if I was to raise his tail and his torso, that's all he is. He is hollow. Let me pull up just so you can see. Oh yeah, I'll get into that here in a minute too. Flip that up. See, I can see you through his torso. Look at that. That's his backbone. That's the only bit of support he has. So it is thin. And even this torso piece, just the stomach piece, it's one little ridge. It's so thin. But this backbone still is strong enough. And of course, putting his head up right there just tucks it away, keeps the little dangling out of there. Tucks it away nice and neat, makes it look pretty good. Now here's the other issue that I have with Skyreign. And this is what I really wish somebody had come up with an upgrade kit for. These shoulder pieces, Skylynx's shoulder pieces, rotate. There is no plug. It's not like his little chest piece comes and plugs in right there and keeps it secure. So when you're trying to move the arms, instead of the combiner joint doing what it's supposed to, the whole shoulder moves. So there's no, it's frustrating. You go to try and put him in some move and the shoulders, it's really hard to articulate and pose his shoulders in poses, because you gotta fiddle with these shoulders, keep them still, move this around, and nothing pegs in. Nothing is secure right here, and that's my biggest drawback about Skyreign. I really wish there was an upgrade kit to fix that, because it should be fixed. This should not happen. This should all be tight and secured, like all the rest of them. All the rest of them, their shoulders are able to peg in. Victorion, Bruticus, Defensor, they all have the same torso, where the main bot's shoulders or hands kind of come up here, plug into their shoulder right here, and it all stays tight and secured. Yes, their shoulder plate also comes over and pegs so that it all stays tight and secure. There is still sometimes you go to turn them and that peg will come loose and their arms return. It's a little frustrating, but it doesn't happen as often. This one, it happens all the time. I seriously have to hold his little feet to turn him correctly, and it's, if you know that trick, not that hard to get around. But if you're not used to it and you go to pose him for anything, there goes his wing, there goes his shoulder, everything's just kind of wonky. That's my biggest complaint. Aside from that, aside from the fact that it looks like they just rushed to kind of put him together, I wish he had better weaponry. I mean, you can't even, there's really no place to put these little dinky daggers on Skylynx when he's just his own bot. When he's in shuttle mode, when he's in Griffin mode, it shows you where you can put them. They look dumb. It looks stupid. These are just not proper Combiner War or Combiner weapons. They're kind of silly, to be honest. Granted, like in my last video, you can slide them in, but it just, they come right apart. No. Now, if he had a gun, if he had a better sword like Minosaur's sword was great. Granted, I have the perfect upgrade kit that comes with the extra piece to make it longer, but his original sword was awesome. It was great. Victorion, all 5 of their weapons combined to one great sword, and that was awesome. That was great engineering. Wish they would have done something like that with him. They're kind of dinky, but aside from feeling like they just kind of threw them all together, I still think his aesthetic is great. I think he looks good. He's obviously got flaws, but as far as displaying, he is a great figure to display. All of these figures are great to display themselves. I understand the complaints, but I don't think they're strong enough to just pass up on them. If you can get your hands on this entire team, I say do it. The pros honestly outweigh the cons, because all you're gonna do is just sit him on a shelf and look at him. And I mean, look at him. He looks great. So if you can get your hands on him, do so. I recommend him, definitely, even with all his flaws. So that ends our series on Skyreign. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking with you guys about him. So we'll get on to some other single bot reviews, get into some more combiners, kind of looking into some upgrade kits for a few of them. I really don't want to do a review on without those kits. We'll see. It's been a long time since those kits have been available, so I kind of have to pay the late fees and the late taxes, and they're getting kind of ridiculous. So we'll see. If I have to do a review without the upgrade kit, I have to do a review without the upgrade kit. I can always come back for a build video or something like that. So we'll see what we get into next, and until then, thanks for watching.